Dear students, now we determine the electric field due to uniformly charged spherical cell. This is last application of Gauss theorem. Suppose this is a spherical cell, charged spherical cell, and radius of this cell is capital R, and we have to determine the electric field at a distance of small r from the center. Now we can consider a Gaussian spherical cell. This is Gaussian surface. Gaussian surface and radius of Gaussian spherical cell is small r, and we can consider a small area ds, and direction of this area like this, and direction of electric field is also in this direction. It means direction of electric field and surface area, small surface area, are same. And now the angle between electric field and ds in this situation is 0 degree, and we can determine the electric flux pass through this small area. It should be E dot ds or E ds cos theta, where theta is 0, d phi equal to E into ds, and electric flux should be integration of closed integration of E ds, E constant, closed integration of ds, or E into s. S represents the surface area of this spherical cell, and we know that surface area of the spherical cell is 4 pi r square, and it becomes phi is equal to E into 4 pi r square. Now by Gauss theorem we know that electric flux is 1 upon epsilon naught times of charge, and it should be equal to E into 4 pi r square, and electric field becomes Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square. This is electric field due to this spherical cell at point P. We can consider it P point. And we also know that surface charge density is Q upon surface area, or Q upon surface area of spherical cell, that should be equal to 4 pi capital R square, as charge is uniformly distributed on the spherical cell. That's why surface area we have taken spherical cell, and Q becomes sigma into 4 pi capital R square. And if we put the value of this Q in this equation, now electric field becomes sigma 4 pi capital R square upon 4 pi epsilon naught small r square. 4 pi cancel out, and it becomes E sigma capital R square upon epsilon naught small r square. This is electric field at point P due to spherical cell in the form of surface charge density. If we want to determine electric field at the surface of spherical cell, it means at the surface circumference of spherical cell. Now small r at circumference of spherical cell, small r becomes equal to capital R. It means electric field becomes Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught capital R square. This is electric field at the surface of spherical cell. Now if we want to determine the electric field inside the spherical cell, suppose this is a point P dash at which we want to determine electric field. Again we consider a Gaussian surface passing through the P dash, and we know that flux pass through this Gaussian surface, it should be E into S, but due to not availability of charge at that surface, it should be equal to 0, and electric field is 0 inside the spherical cell. If we want to determine the variation of electric field around the spherical cell, then suppose this is spherical cell, center and R. Outside the spherical cell, electric field is E equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square. Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught are constant. It means electric field is varied with respect to 1 upon R square. Electric field is inversely proportional to R square. It means outside the spherical cell, electric field is decreased as the distance from the spherical cell is increased. It should be the curve outside the spherical cell. And inside that spherical cell, there is no electric field. It means curve. There is no curve between center and spherical cell. This is variation of electric field with respect to distance. Thank you.